Hi everyone, thanks for checking out my channel. I am Jolene from Bookworm Adventure Girl, and today I am going to be talking about a few of the books that I've been reading recently. I'll let you know a little bit about them, my thoughts on them, and if you feel like picking them up, I will put all of the information in the details down below. First up is The Island by Elin Hilderbrand. This is the book that I asked my Instagram followers to vote on for one of my summer reads. I have 10 of Elin Hilderbrand's books, and I asked them to please vote on which one I should read first. So this is the first book by Elin Hilderbrand that I have read. It is definitely a summer read, partly because it takes place on Nantucket during the summer. It's based on 4 women who spent some time on Tuckernuck Island to just kind of get away from their lives. The first woman is Chess. She is engaged to be married and she has called off the wedding. And a tragedy happens, and basically that's how the story starts, is that these women are going to come together for this month to help support Chess. But of course, in the end, it ends up helping everyone. There's her sister Tate, who always looks up to Chess during this time, and she has, I'm going to say, a crush on a gentleman who is on the island. And then there is their mother, Birdie, and Birdie has been divorced from their father for, I think, probably about a year, and she's just starting a new relationship. And then lastly is India, and India is probably the most mysterious of the 4 women, and she lost her husband a year before and is now in a new relationship as well. And she's a little bit secretive about what that relationship is, and she's not sure if it's appropriate because it's someone at work. So throughout the story, you get to hear all 4 stories, and in the end, it's a pretty feel-good kind of a book. And if you're still looking for a summer read, this might be a good one for you. Secondly, as a good Canadian, I picked up a fellow Canadian's memoir, Alex Trebek, who of course is known as the host of Jeopardy! This was a very different memoir. It's told in kind of snippets and memories of his life, and so it's not necessarily in chronological order, but he does share stories about his early life, about how he got into the business, what brought him to Jeopardy!, some of the key players on Jeopardy!. Some of it is funny, and it's good. And he has some pictures in here throughout the, see if you can see the picture. So there are pictures throughout it of him and his family, and of course the work that he does for different charities and things like that. So if you're looking to kind of get an insight to who he is and learn a little bit more about who is the guy behind the host of Jeopardy!, this is a good one. He does talk about his cancer and some decisions that he's made around that, and it's a very positive, hopeful kind of a book. Bluebird by Attica Locke is a book that I read with my book club, and I'm including it in this grouping because it's the only mystery that I've read in a while. It is the first of a series, and it takes place in Texas. The main character is Darren Matthews, who is a Black Texas Ranger. He has a lot going on in his life, and most of it not good. He's having problems in his marriage. He's having problems at work. There's been 2 murders, and that's where he comes in, where he's trying to solve these 2 murders, even though he has been suspended from work, which was interesting. The main thing of the book, and what makes it relevant today, is that it is about racism, and especially racism with police. The unfortunate part is I just didn't really connect to any of the characters, and I'm not sure that I would want to read more. However, because it is the first book in a series, there's always, room for the story to go somewhere. So maybe the second one I would like better, but this is definitely an option if you're looking for like a detective mystery. If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha is a debut novel that takes place in Seoul, Korea. And I learned so much from this book about the Korean culture and some things that happened in Seoul that I had no idea. It is based on 4 women who live in the same apartment building, and somehow their lives all get intertwined. And each one of them kind of shares something different about the culture. Sayuri is one of the characters who is just naturally beautiful, and she makes that beauty work for her because she works in one of the room salons. So that's one of the things I learned in this, is that room salons are very prevalent in Korea, at least in Seoul. And it is a place where rich men go to be treated like kings. So, and you have to be beautiful in order to work there. The importance of beauty and having things is very clear in this book. Consumerism, and what people will go through in order to be beautiful. Kayuri's roommate Miho was raised in an orphanage. So through her, we learn a little bit about orphanages and how young girls are treated in Korea. She has been in New York and she has come back, and now she's in this really odd relationship with a very rich man. And that is not a good situation. There's Ara, or Ara, who has had quite an interesting history. She has suffered a lot and she is mute. She works in a hair salon. Her best friend wants to have plastic surgery done. So this is another thing that I learned so much about in this book, is that beauty is considered to be such an important thing, that the plastic surgery that some of these women go through in order to be seen as beautiful, it's incredibly drastic. And the fact that they do that and they spend their money, it was amazing to me. I had no idea that it's like the plastic surgery capital of the world. So we learn a lot through Ara's story. Lastly is Wona, or Wana. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name either. She is married, and her husband are trying to have a baby. But trying to have a baby, and with the economy the way it is, they're very worried about their finances. So we learn about that part of the culture and what is going on in society through them. So if you want to learn about the Korean culture and you want to learn, a little bit more about their society and just some of the things that I had no idea, this would definitely be a good choice. And lastly, I have another memoir. It's Randy Travis's memoir, Forever and Ever, Amen. And so I just have to be full disclosure here. I have loved Randy Travis since I was 8 years old, and I read another book a long time ago I think it was by Don Cusick, and I believe it was called something like The New King of Country or something like that. This one is written by Randy Travis with Ken Abraham, and it starts from when he was a young child, and of course he had quite an upbringing and a difficult childhood. He was a juvenile delinquent, those are his own words. And then of course it talks about how he got into country music, how he struggled with that. What I learned in it, because I kind of already knew that, like I didn't stalk him when I was younger, but I watched everything that he was on, and I was just such a huge fan. I've seen him in concert 3 times. I just think he's fantastic. We learn more about his relationship with Lib Hatcher and what that was like, and how he met his now wife. And of course he talks about his stroke and being in the hospital and what his plans are for the future. And so I found that very interesting. The only thing that I thought was missing was, sorry, my dog's, sorry about that. The only thing that I thought was missing were that there's no pictures. And like with Alex Trebek's book, it's nice to kind of see some pictures, even if they're just in the middle and you have a few. I remember that the other book did have some of that. And I did hear someone say that the audio version, when you get the audio version of this book, they send you a PDF, or you can somehow download a PDF with pictures. So it's not, vital that I do that, but that is an option. So if you're looking for a memoir, if you're a fan of Randy Travis and you want to learn more about him, this was definitely a great book for any fan to pick up. Those are 5 books that I have finished recently. If you're interested in any of those, I will put information in the description below. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to chat with you in the comments below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that little bell, and I will be seeing you in my next video. Don't forget to make every day an adventure.